Shoutmaster, brand new video. Today we're doing with Deku was an SCP Part 2. First thing, you're seeing this after, so, wait, when I get in the morning, I'm editing it, I post it, then Miraculous, mostly Wife Deku had, Cat Noir's Miraculous, or the fucking thing. So yeah, I have to think really hard about this, because I have to think, wait, do I want mostly just move UA and all the main characters into Paris, and that's it, and then, like, UA's there and stuff, so, I might, well, let's see, shit. I just might do that, though, because that sounds way easier and stuff. So, yeah. Or mostly, well, maybe Deku gets a scholarship to go to UA, and he does some bullshit, though, so yeah. So I remember that the Miraculous lady, most of the Cat Noir's Miraculous, I can't say it right, though, can teleport him anywhere. There's mostly a Kakuma, a mostly evil entity that looks like a black butterfly. So yeah, I do watch the show. Don't call me on some bullshit here, though. I actually told one of my friends this, though, and like, they started laughing and just, like, picked on me and stuff. They weren't even, like, doing it as a fun. It was, like, fucking, they told everyone in school, and they just continued to call me Ladybug. I fucking hated it. So yeah, friend, if you are watching my YouTube channel, go fuck yourself, because you do not understand how fucking hell was that. It was even, they just continuously, like, pulling pranks on me and stuff. So yeah, let me set the timer, and let's go. Wife Deku was an SCP. So, what we last left off, SCP, yeah, got it. SCP, yeah, this. So we left off. Deku was shot while tranquilizer darts. So, a few hours later, or hours later, Deku wakes up. He mostly on a chair, and, well, if you do not know, you know how, like, cops arrest, like, bad people, and they have, like, the chain, mostly their handcuffs under, like, that. He can't, like, put his hands in the air and stuff. So, yeah. He wakes up, and he's thinking that, wait, did those fuckers take me to this place anyway? So, he's thinking that, well, I better pass the time. Now you're gonna say, oh, Deku's main ability is only just traveling through time. Or at least gain time from different versions of himself from different timelines and bring them together. That's not his only power. He can reality warp and blow up people's heads, like my last one. So yeah, he mostly messed with his head so much that it exploded. So, where he's at, there's, like, a lot of guards out. There's, like, there's a mirror where doctors are looking at Deku stuff. So, Deku is passing the time as creating his own universe. Reality warping, so yeah. He's, like, looking through the entire, mostly space and stuff and looking over, and, thinking that maybe I should check to see how some universe is at. So he's looking over some, and he sees this universe that's going to collapse. Mostly before life can begin. So he's thinking that I should just end this, though. It's like a mercy kill. Technically, Deku is doing something good, because he's giving them a mercy kill, not allowing them to suffer. So, he just grabs their son of that universe that was going to, like, explode, and immediately crushes it. And, the entire solar system goes out whack and blows up. So, yeah. Deku creates his own universe. He creates the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 universe. So, yeah. So, he's thinking that maybe I should make a universe. So, he's thinking of splitting a part of 4 universes, actually. So, he slices the universe into even parts and makes his own technical universes. Fusion, Synchronic Seas, and Pendulum. So, yeah. The rules are there like the regular world, but mostly, everyone has only one quirk. Mostly you have a mostly hologram quirk, or B, you don't have a quirk at all. So yeah. Anyone in the fusion dimension that does not have a quirk, they get killed immediately. So yeah. So a few hours later, and Deku sees this female. Let's call her Dr. Light. Miss Light walks in the room. She sees Deku creating his own universe. Deku sees it, and, she's asking Deku what the heck is he doing. She's saying down. Mostly Deku said that I created my own universe. And mostly, well, I saw you when you were on the other side of that wall looking at me. But I really didn't pay you that mind. Because, well, I just really don't give a shit. She says that you shouldn't really be saying those words, young man. And she says that, Deku says that actually you're speaking to the split personality of Deku. Mostly, let me explain. I was created or born on when the day you guys took me away from my mom. Most of your stupid task force killed my mom. And guess what? You guys fucking burned down my fucking house. So yeah. Do you want to say anything else? She says, I'm sorry, but that wasn't under my control. He says, you're right. Yeah, I really don't give a shit. So, well, she says that, why the heck were you creating your own universe? So he says that, well, mostly, let me explain. Mostly Deku sees behind her, there's a doctor taking down notes whatever Deku says. Deku says, never mind, I really don't want to talk about that, actually. Because, well, I already read you in your mind of the doctor over there. Mostly, let's check see. We're at Site 15, am I right? And, well, this is the SCP Foundation. You have, like, a lot of SCPs here. And let me tell you something really important. If I get out of here, I'm going to murder everybody in this facility. Or at least not murder them, but, well, banish them to my other universes I created, though. So yeah, mostly I'll just banish them to the fusion dimension. If you've never seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, you might want to watch it, because the fusion dimensions, well, it's like communism, or some bullshit, though, you guys call it, though. Mostly there's one person controlling everything, though, and stuff, and they follow his orders, and that's it. Mostly he's doing a righteous thing, so yeah. Technically, I just created my own timeline, technically, though. Or, I actually didn't, because that's not a different version of myself. She's saying, wait, different version of yourself? And he says, shit, I said too much, didn't I? He says that that's the only thing you're gonna get out of me. Okay, Dr. Light? So she says that, okay then. She says that, well, mostly, what the heck do they... We mostly don't have a number for you, kid. He says that, well, I went through your mind already. I know that they don't have a negative number for SCP. So I become the first ever negative number for your SCP little group. She says, wait, what? And say, yes, I can read your mind, create universes, do whatever the fuck I want. So what? I'm gonna become the first ever negative SCP. So yeah. He says that if I get to actually name my own number, I'll spill some more things about myself. Deal? She says fine. So he says fine. My negative number will be SCP negative 525. She says that's okay then. So she asks Deku a few more questions. Mostly what can he actually do? He says that, well, when I was creating that universe actually, that mostly split universe, mostly I was, well, trying to... Before that universe I created, I actually had to destroy a universe. And saying, wait, you destroyed a universe? He's saying, no, I didn't kill anybody. Technically, that universe was going to collapse before any life can be born. And I gave it a mercy kill. She's thinking in her head that this child should not know about, like, mercy and stuff and all this killing crap. He says that you don't really have to, like, think to yourself. I already read everyone's mind in here. He says that, well, I know you guys have a giant lizard thing. Let's check, say, a red dog, Bigfoot, and, well, some other shit here, though. And a wooden statue, if you don't stare at it, you'll get snapped your neck. So, yeah, and a computer. I hope Malware Deck might like that one. So, well, she says that, okay, first thing, can you stop going to my mind? He says, fine. She says, good. So then, she says, okay, she says that, let's see, mostly, how was your mother exactly? He says his mother was actually okay before you killed her. Saying that, well, there's only one thing only. Mostly, well, He gets his hand and he says, look at my hands for a second. She does, and, well, immediately he breaks out of those chains. He says, see, mostly those stupid chains you have me in didn't do anything, though. Mostly when I was dreaming, or at least sleeping a little bit, so I went through every single person's mind. And I know one thing only. All these SCPs are being forced to stay here. Some want to stay, some don't. Let's check see. Which SCP should I say exactly? She says that, mostly, just sit back down, young man. He says, fine. Mostly, she said, well, mostly, we're going to take you to your cell. And it says, great, it's like a prison. She says, it's not like a prison. And he says, well, you're forcing me to stay here. Well, mostly you're forcing me to stay here. I bet you're going to feed me food, test on me with horrible experiments, and force me to do whatever I don't want to. That's technically slavery and imprisonment. So she says it actually isn't. Says, well, let's check see. Technically all these tests I'm not getting paid for. You're forcing me to stay here. You have multiple entities or monsters, you call them. And you terminate them, classified as racist, technically you're killing their entire race. Or, well, you force them to stay here and you torture them for all their life. Am I right? She says we don't torture them. She's mostly trying to, stumble on words. He says, I knew it. She just says that, just follow me. So, well, she gets her keycard and immediately slides the door open. Some task force are just mostly pointing guns at Deku and stuff, and, well, they're taking him to his cell. So, yeah. So, well, they take him to his cell and saying that, well, you have, well, a bed, and mostly that's it. He says, okay then. She says that, well, mostly, we'll get your, well... never mind. She just says that have fun in there for a while. Because there will be, mostly, we will get more information out of you. So there is a table where Deku's cell is at. It's mostly a bed, mostly a table, and where you can slide food in there. So Deku sees this place he's living in, and he says, great. So, well, he just snaps his fingers, and, well, it turns into his living room. Or mostly into his, living room. Where it has a bathroom, shower, a bed, mostly not TV though and stuff, but some other things. So a few hours later, mostly, the doctor comes back, and, well, she sees Deku, well, just sitting there on his bed. Mostly he's playing around with his new universe he created. So, well, mostly the first test is going to be on Deku. Mostly she goes in there and, well, she sees how it is. Mostly, it is mostly, well, his entire living room exactly. She says, so you have reality manipulation? And he says, yes, I do. And, well, she says, wait, how the heck you got those clothes? Reality manipulation, though. So, yeah. Mostly I can manipulate reality. And, well, I want to say one thing only. Well, not Doctor, I know you guys have a reality world anchor. By the way, that won't work on me. And she says, wait, what? Saying that won't work, if you got it right. Mostly, well, that reality anchor does work, but it doesn't work how you think. It won't allow me to change, well, allow me to teleport this entire planet to my new, technically, solar system. Technically, I can teleport this planet to a different solar system where it has the exact same climate, temperature, all this shit, though. Well, he says that when I get older, that world anchor won't work that much. Let's say around when I'm like 15, that world anchor will just do nothing. It's like putting a chain on, well, a lion. Or at least something that can break metal. It won't work forever. So she's writing this down. She says that, well, mostly... She says that, don't try to escape. And he says that, I really actually don't want to. And she says, really? Saying, yeah, mostly I want to see all these monsters, though, here. Most of the checks, you have a giant lizard, a leviathan, somewhere in the sea. don't really know how you guys kept that a secret for this long. So I can see the Scarlet King. She immediately says, okay, watch it there. And he says, what? And saying that, well, don't say that name in this facility. He says, what? Scarlet King? And, well, she just says that, okay. Mostly, she says, on you, we had to mostly change up your shot collar. Mostly, if I had to say, let me just search this up for a second. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. S. Wait, did I spell it? Shit. I was gonna say Yu-Gi-Oh! GX shot collars though, or wait, let me search this up. Zane. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Zane. Right, like this. Got it. So most of these shot cards are like this. So yeah, that's how it is. Let me get back to my image. So yeah. She says that, well, we mostly change your shot cards so it wouldn't mess with your neck. And he says, huh. She says, but this push this button here, I can just shock you. But I won't do that. Because mostly I don't like to do that to mostly human SCPs. He says, well, let me get this right. You're saying that there's only two classes of types of their technically race of SCPs. Human SCPs that actually look like human, they act like them, and different terms of them. Am I right? She says yes, saying that you are part of the human class of SCPs. He says, huh. She says that, can I speak to your other self though? And he says that, fine. So, well, immediately she sees Deku's shadow mostly forming into a human. It does. It's not like this picture though and stuff, but it mostly forms as a human. Immediately the Deku. So anything the split personality Deku wears, he wears too. He's the exact same thing as the shot color things. Immediately the Deku is scared now. He says, wait, where the heck am I exactly? And mostly the Deku says, okay, listen. I'm your split personality. Mostly this SCP Foundation, well, is keeping us here while they're technically are feeding us and all this shit though and stuff, but, well, mostly they're keeping us here. First thing, I was created from, well, when they killed your mom. Remember that? He immediately shakes his head, though. That person over there mostly is going to ask you some questions. Okay? Mostly, well, you're technically stuck in my mind. Or our mind, or some shit, though, stuff. Mostly I can switch between two. But I don't like taking control in your head, though. Not like other split personalities. Those guys are stupid anyway. So yeah. He says that, well, there's only be one problem. And she says, what is that exactly? Saying that, well, he can mostly speak to you and stuff, but, well, don't try to attack him exactly, because he's technically a shadow. Well, a physical body like mine, you can't really physically hurt him and stuff. So yeah. And mostly how long the shower was, that's how long it can go. Mostly it's like, let's see. It's like, oh shit, it's like, shadow, something. But mostly how long the shower was, that's how far you can go. Well, me moving a little bit, though. So yeah. So, well, the Deku says, I'm going to sleep anyway. So, well, he's on the bed. Mostly still working with his universe. She asks him some questions, saying that, how old is he exactly? And he says he is 5. She says, okay then. She says that, well, mostly, how long do you know that version yourself exactly? Mostly he says that, well, the only thing I actually remember before this is mostly seeing my mom dead. So yeah, and jumping out the window and stuff, but that's it. She writes this down. She says, well, I'll be leaving now and stuff. Mostly food will be serving in a few hours. So yeah. Well, she leaves. The other Deku says she was actually nice, though. And the other Deku says she's actually not nice. She's just acting like that. Mostly says that, well, you would know what I know, technically. Remember? Mostly, well, we share a mind. Or, not technically mind, but mostly I can have it your body, you can have it your own body and stuff. So yeah. Mostly says, see, look. So he's showing the universe he created. Saying that, well, after we get out of this stupid facility, we'll just go here and just live out our lives and stuff. Mostly said I based it off Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. So you get to actually own mostly you get to own 2 dimensions, I get to own the other 2. So, well, Deku says, well, I'll mostly get the pendulum dimension. He says, fine, I'll get the fusion. He says, I'll get the synchro, mostly the other Deku, the good Deku, and he says, I'll get the Xyz. So the evil Deku has Xyz and fusion, and the other Deku has pendulum and synchro. He says, fine. A few hours later, food gets served. Mostly, well, mostly, one Deku just has to eat, and that's it. Mostly, it's just, well, cereal. So, the evil Deku eats it, and, well, the other Deku says, wait, can I try it and stuff? And he says, fine. So, the evil Deku allows him to take control of his body, and he switches. Shit, I feel hungry already. Fuck. So, yeah. So, after they're done eating the cereal and stuff, switching between each other and stuff. So, yeah, after they're done, mostly, well, merely the other Deku says that, wait, what the heck are we doing here exactly? That's mostly the good Deku. The evil Deku says that, well, first thing, let's see. He's mostly trying to use his tentacles, but they're still numb thanks to all those fucking tranquilizers they did. He's mostly saying, fuck, those idiots continuously shooting me with tranquilizer darts, though. So, yeah. So, well, mostly, let's see. Another doctor comes in there. Mostly this doctor is, well, let's call him Dr. Shadow. Dr. Shadow says that, well, SCP, or negative SCP-525, and he says to himself, great, I can't believe this stupid SCP got to actually name his number. Merely Deku says, who you're calling stupid SCP? And he says, wait, what? The other doctor must not told you, Dr. Light. Saying that, I can read your mind, you idiot. Next time you try to call somebody idiot, say it to their face then, you fucker. So he says, fine. Mostly, tomorrow you'll actually be with SCP-999. Merely the evil Deku reads the guy's mind and says, oh, that orange blob thing, and he's still saying, stop going in my fucking mind, you idiot. And he says, who you're calling the idiot anyway? Merely the other Deku snaps his fingers, though. I'm just doing that because I like doing it a little bit. And, well, there is mostly that table just transformed into a, well, I actually want to do this. It turned into mostly a pile of candy. Merely the doctor says that, wait, you have reality warping? And he says, yes, I do, doctor. Second thing, mostly, I can warp this entire planet if I want to, but thanks to your stupid world anchor, I can't. So far. Because he explains that, well, when I'm older, mostly, when I hit 15, I'll have enough power to, well, teleport this Earth to my new... I'll technically split this Earth into 4 pieces, or at least split it up. Mostly copy it 4 and send it to each different universe of this world. Or at least my new universe I created. So yeah. Technically, this universe is technically a day old, or at least an hour old or such. So yeah. He says, well, you better get your rest, you stupid SCP. He says, fine, you dumbass doctor. Doctor gets mad about this, but he collects stuff and gets out their stuff. So yeah. So the next day, well, mostly, they are woken up by Dr. Light. Or Mrs. Light, I'm sorry. Mrs. Light says that wake up, negative SCP-525. And, well, he's awake. The evil self is taking control. He says, what is it exactly? He says that, well, she says that, well, it's the day you must be, well, with 999. Immediately, guards come into negative SCP-525's room, or Deku's, and, well, they escort him to there. Dr. Light is following him. Mostly, he's in the room where 999 is. Immediately, when Deku stares at 999, 999 gets scared. Immediately, he's backing away. All the guards and the doctor are saying, wait, shouldn't 999 be going to that SCP? They're writing this down. 999 is scared of negative SCP-525. Deku's saying, great, this stupid blob is scared of me. And he's saying that, wait. So he checks to see if his tentacles work now. He says, great, they do. He's smiling at the doctors. The doctors are asking what the hell is he smiling about. He's saying that, well, let me check, see here. He's looking through the timelines, checking if there's a version of himself look like this. There is. Amelia's tentacles open up a portal and they grab Deku 999. I told you I would never make that because it seems real stupid, but I think I actually have some uses. So yeah. So, well, they see a version of Deku that's just orange and, well, seems mostly smiling stuff. Mostly, they ask him, who the hell is that? Saying that, well, let's see. This is a version of myself that is 999. A timeline where, well, the SCP Foundation has me as 999. So yeah, saying this is, well, mostly close to the useless version of myself. Not useless, but useless, though, stuff. Saying that, well, mostly, every single SCP you have in here is mostly, well, there's going to be a copy of me through time. So yeah, mostly if there's a version of myself here, let's say that there's a timeline where I became a doctor here at the SCP Foundation. There is one, actually. Mostly that one is a fucking idiot. He aggravates the shit out of me, though. I actually tried to speak to his mind and stuff, but mostly he was being killed and then reanimated, though. So yeah. By SCP-049, am I right? The Plague Doctor? Some of the scientists do not know Deku's building. They asked him how the hell does he know that SCP. Saying that, well, I read through Dr. Light's and Dr. Shadow's, well, mind, and, well, I know half of these SCPs in here. He lists them off. SCP-096, the Shy Guy, SCP-3000, the Leviathan, SCP-999, right behind me, SCP-682, the Giant Lizard, SCP-939, the Voice of 1,000 Voices something shit, SCP-1000, the Bigfoot, the SCP, most of that computer SCP, though, and SCP-173, the statue, that if you don't stare at it, it'll snap your neck. So, well, mostly the Foundation, they can use Deku for good. So, yeah. So, well, mostly, the 999 Deku says, wait, why the heck am I hearing exactly say that? Do you not remember exactly? He says, I only remember you in my dreams. And he says, oh yeah, mostly when I was knocked out, these fuckers over here continuously shooting at darts at me, though. Mostly I went through each different timeline's mind and just spoke to him a little bit. I thought Deadpool Deku would speak to you. And he says, oh, Deadpool Deku, he's my friend anyway. And he says, of course he's your friend. He says, well, you can go back to your own timeline. When the doctors say no, he's staying here. The other doctors say no, he needs to go back to his timeline. They start baiting, and, well, mostly he says all of the doctors shut the hell up. First thing, Alien X Deku, I'm gonna say this right now, Alien X Deku is the strongest version of all Dekus. If he saw me keeping a different version of myself here for too long, mostly he would, well, erase this timeline from existence. So, that dumbass doctor over there doesn't want to see an angry Alien X erase him from time. Okay, or do I have to get the Plague Doctor version myself, or the Scarlet King version myself? Or maybe that SCP-682 version myself. He really hates you. So all the doctors agree that Deku needs to go back to his timeline. So they do. So, well, a 999 is still in his corner scared of Deku. So yeah. So this test is, well, done. Deku gets escorted back to his room, but, well, Mostly, some the doctor is thinking that. So he knows about mostly half of all of our SCPs anyway, though. So yeah. Mostly, well, Mrs. Light, I'm sorry. Mrs. Light says that, well, at negative SCP 5D5, mostly your next, test is mostly against SCP 106. He says, oh, the old man. Huh, he smells anyway. And she says, wait, how the hell do you remember timeline shit? And she says, oh yeah, forgot. And he says that, well, So technically I can do wherever I want, my room is set, as long as they don't escape, and she says yes. He says fine. He opens a few portals to get some of his SCP friends. SCP 682 Deku, SCP 1000 Deku, SCP 096 Deku, SCP 106 Deku, and I think that's it. So yeah. And 939 Deku. You're gonna say, wait, 939 Deku doesn't mostly have a mind and stuff. He does, though. Mostly, if I create a what if, though, mostly All For One sees a 999 is Hunt Pack. Mostly, All For One gives Deku a quirk, though, to allow intelligent stuff, so yeah. And shapeshifting. So the doctor's seen this, and she's saying, wait, SCP 939, 682, 096, and some others? She says, mostly, well, yes. Mostly, remember, I can take different timelines stuff with myself, actually. Immediately, SCP-682 Deku says that, wait, aren't we mostly bringing the Scarlet King Deku here? Immediately, Mrs. Light says that you guys cannot bring that type of SCP here. Immediately, well, SCP-682 Deku knows her and says, oh, Dr. Light. And, well, he says, wait, how the heck do you know my name? Saying that every single one of us have met you, though. You were the nicest person to me. Most of you did get killed in my timeline, though. The other Deku say, yeah, you did get killed in my timeline, too, though. Immediately, she says, wait, so if I die in your timeline, that means I could die here? And, well, they say yes and no. Mostly, A, you can, or B, you can't. We really don't know. Even if we did, we can't tell you. So yeah, even SCP-1000 Deku says, yeah, we really can't tell you. So I think this is going to end off here. So yeah, there will be a reboot of Web Deku, let's see. There will be a redo of Vampire Deku, My Hero Academia Vampire Edition, so yeah, there will be a redo of that. Gara Deku will, I will make an MV for that, so yeah. Assassin Deku, that seems really cool. I had to say, this looks really cool, though, and stuff. Sting Deku. So, yeah. This has been the Shadow Master. Here's the meme of the week. Shit, can we find the meme of the week? Meme of the week. Meme of the week. It's Corona, because he sounds like coronavirus. Yachty. Being serious, guys, is just a fucking joke. Please do not take this a little seriously, though. I understand it killed billions, though, and stuff. Or millions. I haven't really been watching TV that much, so yeah. PTSD there, and no CD. So yeah. This has been the Shadow Master, and goodbye.